Some people use laughter to entertain the world, but a few use it to survive it. Eddie Murphy was one of them. Every joke he told was a scar turned into a smile, a reminder that even pain can make people feel alive again. This is not just the story of a comedian. It's the story of a man who turned grief into greatness and found peace in making others smile.
April 3rd, 1961, Brooklyn, New York. A boy named Eddie Regan Murphy entered the world. Born into struggles, raised in laughter, destined to turn pain into something powerful. Eddie's father, Charles Edward Murphy, was a police officer and a part-time comedian. His mother worked as a telephone operator. They divorced when Eddie was just 3. Then, a few years later, his father was gone. He was murdered. Eddie once said, "I learned early that laughter could fix things. When you make people laugh, they stop hurting for a second." That became his weapon, his gift. At 15, he was sneaking into comedy clubs, performing jokes no one expected from a kid in sneakers and a borrowed suit. By his late teens, Eddie was writing jokes faster than most adults could live them. He'd watched Richard Pryor and wanted to go even further, to speak truth, to shock, to make the world laugh and think.
We've been waiting for a long time. Yes, we've been waiting for a long, long time. We've been waiting for a long time. We're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Well, there's a reason everybody should be shaking in the house tonight. And you should grab your favorite lady and come so you do it right. Tell that Jack Joke that to give you a shot of blue. So you can party to some slow down, but don't rock and roll.
It was 1980. Saturday Night Live was struggling. Ratings were falling, the old cast was gone, and people said the magic was dead. Then, a 19-year-old kid from Brooklyn walked into NBC studios, full of confidence, charm, and a fire nobody could ignore. Eddie didn't just tell jokes. He owned the room. His characters Buckwheat, Mr. Robinson, Gumby became instant icons week after week. He turned live television into his playground. Within 1 year, Eddie Murphy had become the heartbeat of Saturday Night Live. He was bold, fearless, unpredictable, and most of all, real.
Hey, that shit like a gun. By the time I was like 10, my mother was like Clint Eastwood with a shoe. And you fuck up, my mother walk in the room was like.
Why'd you eat the ice cream off the floor?
I didn't know ice cream. Bad. Accurate.
Hollywood couldn't resist. In 1982, Eddie made his film debut in 48 Hours alongside Nick Nolte. The movie exploded at the box office. Critics called him the next big thing. 1 year later, he starred in Trading Places, and by 1984, Beverly Hills Cop turned him into one of the highest paid actors in the world.
Hey! Disturbing the piece I got thrown out of a window! What's the fucking charge for getting pushed out of a moving car, huh? Jaywalking? This is bullshit! You
You know, this is the cleanest and nicest police car I've ever been in my life.
But success has its own kind of noise. Eddie was everywhere. Movies, music, comedy tours, headlines. And for a while, it looked like nothing could touch him. But the higher he rose, the harder the spotlight burned. Fame is a strange thing. It can give you everything you ever dreamed of, and quietly take away the parts of you that matter most. By the late 1980s, Eddie Murphy was on top of the world. Beverly Hills Cop 2 broke records. His stand-up specials, Delirious and Raw, were cultural explosions, outrageous, hilarious, and raw to the bone. But behind the laughter, pressure was building. Eddie was barely in his mid-20s, surrounded by money, fame, and voices, some cheering him on, others waiting for him to fail. He was exhausted, misunderstood, and carrying the weight of an industry that didn't always want him to succeed. Then came the 1990s, and the glow began to fade. A string of box office flops, Harlem Nights, The Distinguished Gentleman, Vampire in Brooklyn, made critics call him washed up. The same world that crowned him king now laughed at his crown. And in 1997, the cameras turned on him for all the wrong reasons. He was stopped by police in West Hollywood with a transgender woman in his car. No charges were filed, but the tabloids didn't care.
He says he thought he was aiding a distraught woman.
Looks like a pretty Hawaiian girl in the corner crying. It looks like she was crying. She goes, oh, Eddie Murphy. She noticed him at the light. She recognized Eddie Murphy. Oh my God. So I go, what are you doing? Why are you out here working the streets so late? She goes, oh, I'm on my way home. Can you give me a ride
Overnight, one of comedy's brightest stars became late-night material. Eddie never lashed out. He didn't make excuses. He simply pulled away from fame, from interviews, from Hollywood itself. He once said, "When you've been the hottest thing in the world and it cools off, it's a humbling experience." The same headlines that once celebrated him now laughed at him. And for the first time since he was 19, the laughter that once fueled him was gone. But legends don't fade. They evolve. In 1996, Eddie returned with The Nutty Professor. It wasn't just a hit, it was redemption. Audiences fell in love again with his brilliance, his heart, his comedy. Then came Dr. Dolittle, Shrek, Dreamgirls. He made the world laugh again, this time with peace instead of pressure. And through it all, Eddie learned something far greater than fame. That laughter wasn't his escape, it was his gift. And even when the world turned its back, his purpose never left. Time has a way of humbling even the brightest stars. It strips away the noise, the fame, the applause. And what's left is who you truly are. For Eddie Murphy, that truth came quietly, not on a movie set, not on a stage, but in the stillness of family, faith, and reflection. He stepped back from Hollywood in the 2010s, not because he ran out of roles, but because he finally understood something deeper, that peace is worth more than applause. He focused on his children, 10 in total, and built a private world far away from cameras. For a man who made millions laugh, he found his biggest joy in simply being dad. But the fire never left him. In 2019, he returned with Dolomite Is My Name, a story about a man who never gave up on his dream. played by a man who never gave up on his own. Critics called it his best work in decades. The same voice that once broke barriers in the 80s was back, wiser, calmer, sharper than ever. Eddie Murphy wasn't chasing fame anymore. He was doing what he was born to do: inspire, entertain, and remind the world that laughter heals. More than 4 decades in the spotlight, more than 70 films, countless characters, and endless laughter. And yet, when asked what he's most proud of, Eddie didn't mention the money, the fame, or the awards. He said that I came from nothing, and I'm still standing. Eddie Murphy's story isn't about comedy. It's about courage. It's about falling from grace and still finding grace again. It's about knowing that your voice, no matter how it's used, can still change the world. Because legends aren't defined by how loud the world cheers for them, but by how deeply they make it feel. Eddie Murphy, the man who turned pain into laughter, into legacy.